Empowering tourism through investment. Interviewer:
Dr. Wadun Okukwe, Principal Advisor at Red Clay Advisory, is a distinguished tourism expert specializing in hotel development feasibility studies and destination management across Africa. With a PhD in strategic tourism leadership and extensive speaking engagement, she brings academic rigor and practical expertise to her role, contributing significantly to the industry.
Investor: Chief Engineer Dotun Sanusi, Chairman, Ilaji Hotels and Resorts. Engineer Dotun Sanusi, a prominent figure in Nigeria's hospitality industry, serves as the Chairman and CEO of Ilaji Group, overseeing Ilaji Hotel, Sports Resort, Travels and Tours Agency, and FM radio station. Renowned for his philanthropy, he transformed Ilaji Resort into a thriving hub, earning titles like Jagun Olubadan of Ibadan Land. Investor: Kunle Adedigba, proprietor Golden Tulip. Adekunle Adedigba is a financial and business management expert with more than 3 decades of professional experience, with core competencies in hospitality, real estate construction, finance, banking and consulting. He is an alumnus of Lagos Business School and a fellow of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, ICANN. Investor:
Professor Jide Oweye, founder and chancellor of Leeds City University, Ibadan, is a visionary in Nigerian education. He holds BSc, MSc and PhD degrees and served at Obafemi Awolowo University before establishing the university. His leadership aims to instill self-reliance and excellence in students, addressing their core educational challenges.
Investor: Tony Jibuno, CEO, Milking Barn AgriServe Limited. Tony Jibuno, CEO of Milking Barn AgriServe Limited, is an electrical and electronics engineer with a master's in engineering management. He also attended the Harvard Business School's General Management program. He is a seasoned professional with diverse expertise, with over 30 years in oil and gas project management and 7 years in agriculture. Jibuno is also the founder of Land and Marine Engineering Projects Limited.
Our section really is a very short one, hopefully to be short and snappy and punchy. But the idea is that if we're talking about how do we power investments for tomorrow, then we need to have a way of understanding those who have already invested in Oyo State, to get a sense of why they decided to invest, how that experience has been, and some of their lessons that they have learned that perhaps other investors can learn from. And this is meant to be an interactive session. So what that means is that I will go through a few questions, but if you do have any questions that you want to ask, you have notepads in the bag that you are giving. You can write this down and give to the ushers, and then someone will collect it and give it to me in about 30 minutes time. I think the important thing here is to understand, because you might be asking that we have agriculture, AgriServe, we have the university. How does this connect to tourism, and what does this really mean? And it's important to see that tourism has so many layers. It connects to different industries, different sectors. I think when Governor Duke was speaking, he spoke about the importance of education. So the importance of hospitality education, the importance of tourism education. But beyond that, when you start to really think about the tourism value chain, what are you going to give the tourists when they come in? It's really key to say, how do we connect the agriculture? How do we start to connect farm to table? And how do we ensure that our hospitality ventures are connected to the industry in a way that means that tourism becomes a real part of the food distribution system? And so, like I mentioned, if you do have any questions, we have the ushers that should be around and that they can get your question. Please write your name and your direct question so that we can attend to that in about 20 minutes. So a quick question, I think I'll start with Professor Oweye. Your investments in education are well known, and it's important, like I said earlier, that education is key for promoting tourism to ensure that the right people can drive the tourism agenda. Can you tell us some of your experience and reason for why you decided to invest in Oyo State and how that journey has been so far?
Thank you. Let me start by saying that I was born here, so I have no other way of thinking of moving elsewhere than to settle down to doing those things where I know best, which is Oyo State, especially Ibadan, where I was born some years ago. The opportunity are vast in Oyo State in terms of educational development. The first higher institution in Nigeria, the first university, the University College of Ibadan, started here, and that in itself is an impetus to anybody who is interested in investing in higher education in the state. So all the grants, I would say, so to say, are leveled for anybody who has that kind of interest. And of course, the figures we were given earlier on mentioned that Oyo State is over 90% literate, which means there's a real market, a real need, a real drive for education at all levels in this state. And therefore, it helps in encouraging anybody to choose this state as a place to place such investments.
Thank you, sir. And Anthony, I think I'll come to you. We were speaking earlier about sometimes when we look at investment and we say, okay, why should I invest in a place? There's a strong sense of place that Professor Woye has referred to. He was born in Oyo State, and this is why he's drawn to investing there. Can you share some of why you have decided to invest in the agricultural sector in Oyo State and how that experience has been so far?
My experience has been short of awesome the last 1 year, yes. I would say that for a couple of years I've been looking for probably a good site the agribusiness we wanted to go into. And I had the privilege of going around most of the southwestern states. I've been to Oyo before. They showed me a couple of sites somewhere in Shane, between Ibadan and Shane Road. I remember it took me almost 2 hours to drive through that road. Even the fashion night, the first day I came there, it took almost another 1.5 hours to drive from Oyo to Shane. And I turned both places down when I went there the first time. But good thing we have a governor like His Excellency Sheyi Makinde. The next time they brought me to those places, I was driving past the place and I didn't know I'd gotten to where I was going because the roads were now done. Now what I've experienced in the last 1 year, I'm not looking for any other place to go to in terms of investment in the agribusiness sector. Because number one, the lands are there. Number two, you have the leadership that is steering the whole state towards that direction. And apart from what we've done so far in fashion, with my management, I also have decided to establish, our the mega farm that we want to do right here in the States. And we're also discussing with the States as to also the tourism aspect of it as well. So my experience here has been very good. And for whoever wants to hear, you can come in and see for yourself.
Oh wow, that is fantastic feedback for Oyo State in terms of the investor experience that you have had. But can I come back to you quickly to just touch on, yes, you mentioned the fact that they had invested in some road infrastructure, which shows that they took the investment seriously. But what else would you say has enhanced your experience as an investor? Because many times people believe or have this sense that there is an opaque nature of government, and working with private sector and public sector can be difficult. So if you can. Yeah.
So for me, the second other thing is the security. Going to the farm doesn't seem like going to the farm. I leave my house in Lagos by 5:30, 6 in the morning, and then by 8:30 I'm there in the farm. So the security is good. The people that we worked with, the interface, the civil servants who are in the ministry and in all the parastatals that we've had to interface, their response time has been awesome. So you ask for something and they respond. So I haven't had any negative side to it. I don't know any other person's experience, but my experiences have been good. The ministry, the oyster who we've been interfacing in most of our agribusinesses, led by Dr. Akande as well. He's been awesome he's been hands-on in providing all the things that we need. The state has built a farm estate. So basically what they have done is they've created an enabling environment for investors to come in. So they built warehouses which you lease for 20 years. They have lands that you could lease for as much time as well. So when we came in, we added, our expertise to the things we were doing and made what they have provided to suit our businesses. And so far, it's been good. So security is there, government support is there, the infrastructure is there, and the interface, the people managing those also are people who understand it. Now, in Ibadan, IITA is there, for instance. We have technical service agreements with them. Friesland, who is our off-taker for the milks that we produce in our farm, is also, they have, Oyo State is the largest, they have the largest milk collection centers in Oyo State, in the whole of Southwest. So everything ticks the box for me, on why we should invest in Oyo State. I'm not from Oyo State. I'm from Niger Delta. So me coming here and telling you this, I'm not just singing praises.
Thank you so much, Tony. And I think that your example, okay, we'll clap for the state, fantastic. I would say that your example shows lessons that we can learn in tourism, right, in terms of the tourism sector. So thinking about the infrastructure that is required, I usually talk about the importance of a tourism system, so that you have the services, facilities, the people, transportation, communication, and the attractions. Like these are all well structured and organized, so that an investor, like you have said, can simply come into the state and it's easy for them to get things started, as opposed to having to invest across all the different components of the system. So I would say that these are some lessons that the tourism sector, Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture can also take to ensure that the investors that are coming into tourism have this awesome experience that you speak about. And Professor Roya, I'll come back to you to just really talk a bit more about what you have shared in terms of the sense of place. Because for you, investing in Oyo State, of course, has to make business sense, but there's also been that sense of responsibility towards developing, harnessing, and building where we're from. And I think that nowhere else is that more important than in tourism, where what we have to sell is who we are and where we're from. So I'd like to know some of what your insights are in terms of what UTT perhaps is doing for the future and some ways of overlap with the tourism industry or tourism education.
If you notice that a lot of the educational programs we have had a lot of linkages with activities of the Oyo State government. Just about a month ago, there was this cultural event that was organized by the Oyo State government, the Ilaji Center, and UCT University, which was titled Omogiasha. It was a way of promoting our dances, our culture, our artifacts in the state, and we all came together and we celebrated what we have. So it's like today we are doing a follow-up of what we did last week, and even currently now on the campus, that the students are having what they call their annual cultural week. a lot of things are going on that indicate that those who are students from other states, from the north, from south, from the east, they have an opportunity to share what they brought from their own areas with what we have here in New York State. So the institution has created an opportunity for a mix of understanding about what culture looks like in the entire country. And also many of the programs we have a program on academic program on tourism and culture, both at the undergraduate and the postgraduate level. This provides opportunity for those who are interested in investing their future in the area of developing the tourist environment, the tourist resources we have, to come and learn something that will help them to be able to conceptualize what they are doing and to promote establishment of such facilities. And as was said earlier on by Governor Duke, culture is about the tourist knows where he's going. He already has an idea of where he wants to go. And therefore, sometimes it is not everybody that travels somewhere and you go into shops, or you go and look at rivers, or you go and look at mountains. Sometimes people travel and because they have interest in education, the places they go to see, like I do, are the schools. They want to see how the schools look like, how the schools were established, what happened, what they are developing, what the future and relationship between the town and the gang. So precisely, us as an educational institution has a lot to do with promoting our culture and partnering with the state government. In the last few months, we have been working also with both the education ministry and lately the health ministry about developing some kind of linkages in terms of our contribution to healthcare within the state. Because we have the College of Medicine and Health Sciences, which has programs like dentistry, MBBS, radiography, medical lab science. All the students taking this program, they need a practical base. So their clinicals will have to happen within those establishments already established by the university. And therefore we have been promoting a lot of connections in this area. And very soon we are hoping that just as the university is trying to build its teaching hospital, the construction we started a few months ago, it will still require to work more with the state health facilities. And this kind of town relationship can only happen in an environment that is conducive, where you have leadership that is visionary, like the one we currently have in the state. And interestingly, since our university started in 2005, we have been very lucky to have very visionary leaders in your state.
Thank you, Prof. And I would say that having the governor even here shows the importance that they place on tourism development. But one thing that you touched on that I think is very key, actually two things, are the importance of education and development in terms of the culture, understanding the culture, celebrating the culture, amplifying it, and also that sense of how do we really harness tourism by ensuring that across the value chain, people are trained that understand what tourism can mean from an economic, an environmental, and a social-cultural perspective. But I would say the other thing that you touched on, which is perhaps one of the challenges that Nigeria has when you talk about tourism, is safety and security. And the sense of health care, right, is part of how you show tourists that you take their safety seriously. So so that in case of crisis or in case of issues, there are opportunities there that we can invest in, so that people know that if anything happens to them while they're in Oyo State, there are world-class facilities that are available. Even beyond that, there are health tourism opportunities as well. So I'm told that Chief Adediba is online and that he's here somewhere, which he will speak to us. And so Chief Adediba is the Managing Director of Golden Tulip, like I said, that he has invested in the hospitality sector. We know Golden Tulip and we know some of his other interests that he has in Ibadan. And so the question that I would really like to ask is, what is the vision that has driven your investments in hospitality in Oyo State? And can you just share a bit more about the vision for Premier Hotel as well?
Oyo State is JDC Media. Can you read please? Oyo State occupies a unique position in the country. If you are coming from the past Oyo State, if you are coming from Osun, the past Oyo State, even if you are coming from Ekiti, he enjoys closeness to Lagos. Over the years, last 60-70 years, it has been the center of a lot in southwest Nigeria, from being the capital of southwest Nigeria to being the location for the first television station, to being the location for the University of Ibadan, for the University College Hospital, for the UISU, for the Agodi Gardens. So Oyo State has always occupied a pride place. That's one. When asking for the music, so Oyo State has indeed been a place setter over the years. Secondly, I was born in Ibadan. I grew up in Ibadan. I have fond memories of Ibadan. That's reason 2. Reason 3, and importantly so, is that Oyo State is ripe. Oyo State is very, very, very close to being ready. What do you need for tourism? You need, in our own case, infrastructure, in this case, roads, and I can see the government making giant strides in making Oyo State, but in particular, a nexus of transportation that improves the ease of getting in and out of Oyo State. The airport, the connection to the airport, the rail line, the connection to the rail line, and then the transport hubs all springing up around the state. More importantly, the quality of security and tranquility that has enveloped Oyo State in the last, I would say, 5 years and even for more. So Oyo State is relatively safe, it is secure, it has good people, historically it is the place to be, and importantly, emotionally, it is the place for me. For those who are still considering Oyo State, now is the time. Asset prices are lovely. Oyo State is 1 hour away from Lagos. Lagos has 20 million people in a location that is about 1/5 the size of Lagos. So Oyo State is ready. There's money to be made in Oyo State. And in terms of approvals for development and construction, I think the government has done very well under the leadership of His Excellency Engineer Sheyi Makinde. So you will get your approvals on time. There's security, there's tranquility, the nearness to Lagos is there, the infrastructure is good, but there's a lot of room for improvement. The airport is now more active, there's airbase, there's green some green piece, the road line is there, the IIT is there, so yours is ready. And I saw that, and very quickly I plugged into it about 7 years ago with Golden Tulip, and then 1 year ago with Premier. The vision for Premier is not a hotel. The vision for Premier is a destination. It's not about sleeping and drinking. It's about culture. It's about tradition. It's about history. It's about creating a location that envelopes you, that brings you to terms with comfort and with luxury. It's about putting Oyo State back on the tourism map. So I encourage everybody. The assets are there in Oyo State. From the UIC, which used to be the place to go to in the 70s and 80s, to the Agodi Gardens, irrespective of what people say, to the Hanging Lake, to the other lakes in Okeado, to, at the very basic, the very good people of Oyo State, to the Betty mines, and of course there's still an opportunity for collaboration even with Oyo State in terms of Ile-Ife, even in Oyo State in terms of collaboration with Oyo Town and its historical importance. So Oyo State is ready. Oyo State is like a hidden gem. It will not be hidden for so long. The government is doing a great deal of work. And like I mentioned, the assets are there, the history is there, the peace is there, infrastructure is there, and most importantly, the good people of Oyo State, they're there, they're waiting to receive it. So if you ask me and say, why am I investing in Oyo State? I was born there, I grew up there, there's money to be made there, and there are good people there.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I would say from what he has said, it's really about saying if you're trying to look at tourism and to invest in tourism, the state already has the key components. The environment is beautiful, it is serene, it's tranquil. And so these are certain assets that make Oyo State conducive for tourism investment. So Tony, my final question, because I'm told we only have a few minutes left, is really, if you knew 10 years ago what you know now, what are the two key things you might have done differently?
Probably would have gone into agribusiness a lot earlier.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I spent the last 25 years working in the oil and gas sector, and nothing of that 25 years prepared me for the 1 year I've had to spend in active agribusiness. And the opportunities are endless. You know, not just that, the value chain is endless. Now we're trying to add tourism to the agribusiness as well. So I feel I should have done this much earlier. So, but it's never too late to start. We've started, and I think the future is bright for us.
So that's one. Second lesson? So
the second lesson is what His Excellency, the Governor of Cross River, the former Governor of Cross River, said. Say concept is good, you know, but it doesn't end with concepts. You know, people make concepts happen. So yes, they were sitting here as people have invested. There are a lot more people out there who probably have more money than I do, who could also come in to invest more. You know, so a lot of good ideas are floating around, but people need to walk the walk, you know, in addition to just talking about it.
Thank you. So it's about saying that things don't just happen, people make things happen, but also if you're looking to invest in Oyo State, you have to, it's already too late, so tomorrow is the next best time. We should have started yesterday.